Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we'll be track testing and off-road testing the 2015 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. This is a pickup from Toyota featuring a 5.7 liter V8 engine producing 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque, which I'll be comparing to the Ford F150, the GMC Canyon, and the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel. Starting with the drawbacks, the Tundra is easily the least fuel efficient. With a combined fuel economy rating of 15 mpg, it's 5 miles per gallon less than the next lowest competitor, and its highway rating is 10 miles per gallon worse than the Ram. It's by far the heaviest of the group at just over 5,600 pounds and was more expensive than the Ford or GMC. That said, it offered the highest ground clearance of 10.6 inches, the second best towing capacity at 9,800 pounds, and was the most powerful truck in the group. It's also the most orange truck tested. Check out the video description for videos of the compared models. So checking for visibility out the front and to the sides, very good. These are large mirrors, so plenty of visibility. Looking back, also great looking out the rear, and checking the blind spot, plenty of visibility overall. So acceleration testing in the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro as compared with the other pickup trucks here. You do get a little wheel spin when you put your foot down, and it does launch pretty well once you get up there. You know, this is a pretty heavy vehicle, but once it gets into those higher RPMs, it does have a good amount of power, and as long as it has traction, it'll put it down and you'll accelerate pretty well. So we'll go ahead and test the reverse of this. We've got our screen there, see how we're doing. Try and back up into the section with Herman the dinosaur. How are you doing, Herman? A little tap. Not too bad in reverse, and we will now test its handling on the slalom. If that doesn't give you a clue as to how it will do. So about 25, and we're going to welcome the understeer. Unbelievable amount of understeer. Very hard to keep this thing going the proper direction. I'm at a pretty low speed too, about 25, and it's struggling. So we'll go and get our brake test from 40, a little bit over 50 feet, but it did come to a controlled stop. That said, there was quite a bit of vibration in the brake pedal as the ABS interfered, and we'll get a nice little slide in here, or just understeer a ton. Okay, off-road testing the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. I'm going to see if I can do this whole thing with it in just rear-wheel drive, as everything's been pretty easy to get through this in with four-wheel drive, so why not make it a little bit more challenging? See if we do encounter any wheel slip, anything like that. Of course, this has an immense amount of suspension travel, plenty of clearance, big all-terrain tires, so this is really nothing for the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, but we'll see if we can get to slip a little bit in some of these muddy holes here, or if it's no fuss. So our first water crossing, fairly deep, but not really deep for this. And we'll come up to another one here and see if, now the steering ratio on this is pretty high, so you got to turn the wheel quite a bit in order to get through this. So we'll come to a stop here in the water and then just lightly accelerate and see if there's any wheel slip. Didn't seem to be any issues getting out with just the rear wheels, which don't have, you know, all the weight on them, and it's only those two rear wheels powering it, so certainly could slip, but no fuss from it. Good all-terrain tires, very capable vehicle. And we'll come around this bend here. This thing is pretty large. So that's the one really restriction as far as off-road, is just the sheer size of this thing. You know, clearance and like overhead clearance, and then if it's too wide to get through certain areas, or perhaps too long to navigate around a certain corner. But overall, it's incredibly capable in this kind of environment. The one drawback, of course, being that it doesn't have a locking rear differential. It does have an automatic electronic acting rear differential, but aside from that, very capable with the setup. Simple physics, you know, large tires, lots of suspension travel, plenty of ground clearance, and you know, it's pretty hard to stop something like this.